Black Africa, the Africa of the war drum, the Africa of the ritual dance, the Africa of the war canoe, and of the witch doctor. This is the only Africa most people know, but it's an Africa which is disappearing over the horizons of history. Young Africans are learning new skills. Students flock to London and Paris to read law and to study medicine. Above all, they come to read politics, to see democracy at work. They mix with English people in all walks of life, learning all the time. Far away in Africa, there's a lot to be done, and they want to get on with it. This is the port of Conakry, capital of Guinea. It's a quiet town on the West African coast. Until 1958, few people had ever heard of it. It has one railway, not very new. Some fish. And a lot of bananas. And a lot of green fruit. Across the bay on Robert Louis Stevenson's treasure island of Los, there are millions of tons of bauxite, aluminium ore. Up country, there's even more. But there's not enough money in Guinea to exploit it. On September the 28th, the Prime Minister, Sékou Touré, took this little country out of the French community. But he realized that independence wasn't enough. If the almost inexhaustible wealth of Africa is to be won, he believes its independent states must get together. The wind of change started to blow along the west coast. Maps were suddenly out of date. In December 1958, Sékou Touré merged Guinea with the already independent state of Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah had for long been a champion of African unity. Now, new blueprints were discussed in Parliament both in Accra and Conakry. The blueprints for a big political confederation, a United States of West Africa. Sékou Touré's dream is of a country with a population of 80 million independent Africans, which could become a new world power. It is already something more than a gardener's daydream. Houses and flats are being raised everywhere for the new administration. A whole new town for 80,000 people is being built 28 miles outside Accra. Tema, the great new £80 million port, is well underway. Money and machinery have come from Britain. The labour force has come from nearby villages, which are disappearing in the path of the bulldozer. The marketplace in Ghana's capital, Accra, is the root of Africa's grapevine. From here, news of progress travels fast to friends and enemies. Africa is on the move. From the Cameroons to Dakar, they are looking again at the old lines on the map. Britain's Prime Minister, Mr. Harold Macmillan, went to see for himself. He went to Nigeria, independent in October, to meet 35 million people and their leaders. He met the Prime Minister, Abu Bakr Balewa, and his cabinet. And he met Chief Awolowo, whose followers looked to him to push forward with Nkrumah and Sekou Touré the ideal of West African unity. It is already a country of strange contrasts, old forms of entertainment side by side with the new. The snake charmer in the market. The cinema. Even television. Mud huts and native cooking pots smoking behind the modern houses and flats. New buildings everywhere. Skyscrapers shooting up out of the bush. Universities like the one at Ibadan in Nigeria, built in 3 years on a patch of wasteland. Modern liners edging out the old picturesque fishing boats. Everywhere, change. In Tunis, politicians from all over Africa met to plan their future, to discuss the organization of a production which ranges from bar gold to peanuts, to work out for themselves who are their real friends. And who might well make fools of them. If the dream of West African unity comes true, it will make a big difference to the world's way of life. The country would be politically powerful and immensely rich. It is being built on the belief that black and white can work and play together.